Welcome to the Rogue Recap. Hot takes, cold facts, and zero respect for the official narrative. Sit back, roll your eyes, and let's recap. Rogue style.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Rogue Recap. I am Lynda McLaughlin, and today I'm not your only host. Lucky you. We have Eric Eggers from the Government Accountability Institute. We had so much fun last week. It was our first episode of Soundbytes. This week is our second episode. So, Eric, welcome back. You survived the aftermath.
I survived, and I'm happy to be not the worst person on the show named Eric this week. So it's a big deal. Thankfully, there's a monstrous congressional scandal that we can do to because I know I give off some vibes at times, but I'm excited to kind of redirect. No, it's this Eric that's the problem. This one,
bro. I have to tell you, when the Democrats decide to eat their own, they do it so well. There is no waiting, no time lost. It's like all that shit we had on you, we're putting it out today. 3:00. Get ready.
And it's so transparent, and they all clearly got the memo. They were all ready to go. The press conferences were lined up. They had the blown up pictures. They had the talking points. No, this was a well choreographed. They even had time to get props, Lynda. That's how you know this is not an organic. Hey, no. They
heard about this, by the way. Here's your fat head.
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, what is happening? But no, actually, I definitely was at that spot when I first heard about it. And, we really try. You and I both work for a lot of different news outlets. We make a lot of commentary in a lot of places. You try not to talk trash. You really try to have your sources and find out. And with the advent and the aggressive progression of AI, I'm always like, all right, wait. I need to check this 6 ways to Sunday. And when I saw this, now I can't stand him. I have to tell you, there's that one video where he's with the hooker in his house. I can't even look at that video. The way that he grabs her and mauls her, I'm like, all right, I'm out. There are just some things you cannot unsee. That is one of them. I'm like, and it's everywhere online. And at first I thought that has got to be AI because he's wearing Argyle socks with his hooker in the bed that he shares with his wife. I'm like, a lot going on there, sir. Maybe deep city, mommy issues, way down deep. And he's like, I'm gonna let it all out. And who's sitting on the bed next to him, you think? A lot of questions about that.
Well, on the Argyle socks, you can take the boy out of the theater, but you can't take the theater out of the boy. And he clearly, he's a gentleman still. Some things still matter. It doesn't matter what else is about to occur.
Gross. He's just gross all about it. So we have our first clip. I think this is a very sad clip. This victim is talking about how it sounds like she was roofied. She talks about how her arms and her legs went completely numb and weak and all the things. And I will tell you, full disclosure for the audience, I was roofied in my 20s. I had a guy put it in my drink, took me back to his house. And if it wasn't for his father breaking into his room, I would have been his next victim. But he literally drugged me in a restaurant. We were out with a group of friends and got me in the car. And I was completely conscious. I could see everything. I could hear everything, but I couldn't move my entire body. And obviously this guy had a past of doing this. His father saw him come in and drag me through the garage, came upstairs and knocked on the door and saved me. I mean, I was down to my last seconds before something horrible would have happened. So when she started talking about her arms and her legs, and I was like, that's a real thing, man. If you've been roofied, I know exactly what she was talking about. And now they just released today, they have the receipt from the hotel.
That his campaign paid for.
Yes. I was like, not only do they have you there, but you use taxpayer funding.
So just to be clear, we're talking about the slope of the downfall, is approaching infinite because the denominator is zero. This is a guy who ran for president in 2020, as you know, and as I discussed with Peter Schweitzer on our drill down episode. The reporters have said, look, we've known about this guy since 2013. Exactly. It's been an open secret, but somehow he ran for president. None of this stuff gets elevated. He's the front runner for governor a week ago. And now he's potentially, Lynda, this isn't just stuff that ends political careers. This is stuff that brings criminal charges. Yeah, so this is a real problem.
That to me is the highlight reel, right? This guy who comes out, and we're going to play some of it today, where he's on the pious podium, he's preaching. And then we find out, oh, you're the worst kind. You're literally You're the guy who is just projecting all the things he's doing. But let's play this clip. Just if you're watching it or listening, you got kids around, just full disclaimer, it's very graphic. So just heads up.
When I arrived at his hotel room, I was already incapacitated and I couldn't move my arms or my body. He raped me and he choked me.
I mean, think about what is it about this guy that this is something he wants to do to people? Not one woman, many.
Well, and it sounds like, I mean, this is, we don't exist to explore like the psychology of sexual deviance. And I only use the phrase sexual deviance because this is not just someone who's unfaithful. There's plenty of people in Congress that do that.
Yes.
But this is something that's beyond like consensual acts of, adults. This is something that is happening against the will of people. Forget the power dynamics of him and other interns. And there's other people that have said those things. I mean, this is illegal and wrong and the worst kind of an abuse of power. And it's insane that he got away with it, not just within his own social circle, but within the larger circle of the media and Washington, D.C., who clearly knew this man had a reputation. And to your point about the Democrats eating their own, this is a well-timed thing, not because they've decided they're intolerant of Eric Swalwell's behavior. It's because they're intolerant of the fact that his political position meant 2 Republicans were in charge of the primary for governor in California. That's his actual sin that he's being punished for, not the roofing of this young woman, sadly.
And that's the other thing too, right? You see him in all these pictures because now I didn't even get it all for today. There's actually too much. There's him on these yachts with all of these women dancing around, and he's always with other men. And it's just very, I guess if the women are there and they're consenting and everybody is there and they're all in for the same thing, fine. But when you're married and you are representing people in a congressional capacity and saying that and accusing others of the very things you're doing, I don't know. I guess there's just a part of me that still has faith in humanity. And then somebody like him comes along. I'm like, no, you're a piece of shit. Never mind.
You should give it a week, Lynda, because we'll disabuse you of that very quickly. No, I promise. We're all broken, desperate, evil people, and we just have yet to have our moment in the sun. And the problem is Eric Swalwell has chosen not to kind of embrace other people's errors with humility, right? The Donald Trump stuff comes out. He's not like, hey, been there, I'm going to reserve judgment. He's leading the parade to castigate and humiliate. And so
he's hosting that party.
Oh,
he's
absolutely.
All about it.
So no one has any sympathy for Eric Swalwell.
No, his face alone is irritating. All right, so here is Swalwell. This is him talking about how we have to protect the victims. The clip is a little bit long, but it's worthy of your ears just for a moment. And then we'll go to Gallego, who is also in office, but was his campaign, I guess he was his chief of staff, campaign director, whatever. And
I think the term you're looking for is bestie.
Bestie. Yes, bros for show. Bros before hoes is probably their mantra.
Or maybe bros with hoes, as it turns out. But we'll get to that.
Okay, here's Swalwell.
Well, everyone wants to see the Epstein files, Nicole. Democrats want to see it because the reason we've always wanted to see the files. It's about the truth. It's not about politics. It's about victims. And the truth is, many of these victims were teenage girls who had real wrongs done to them. And our job is to protect the most vulnerable. And actually, consistently over a decade, there's one group who has always known the danger of Donald Trump, and that's women. When it comes to women and Donald Trump, no one has been worse for them. That's why I believe he's in this free fall in the polls right now. This is about victims and protecting the most vulnerable in our community and knowing the names, not of the victims, but knowing the names of those who exploited them.
I wonder what, as Democrats, you think the opportunity is to maybe re-engage some voters on issues of credibility and truth-telling.
Yeah, and accountability, and showing that at the end of the day, we want the facts and we want accountability. And frankly, people just don't trust government. They don't like how much money is involved. They don't like the dirty maps that are drawn as congressional lines and local lines are put together. They don't like that members of Congress are allowed to trade stocks. And so we have a real opportunity, to have a clean up government agenda as we go into the midterms. And what we can do in a shadow way right now over the next 16 months, because we are not helpless, is, as I said, is to receive information, to force votes, to bring forward and animate, the stories of individuals, who have been affected by the corrupt culture that Republicans are enabling.
Lynda, I got to tell you, the only thing faker in that video than his alleged concern for women is the glasses. It's like
the glasses.
You clearly don't need them. And it's like, do you think you're like Clark Kent? Like, with the glasses on, I'm a reputable member of Congress. Without them, I'm a rapist. But hey, look at me. I have the glasses back on.
The best part
is that a rapist? No, that's Eric Swallow. You see the glasses,
he's fine
right?
now. He's fine.
Yeah, he's fine.
You can walk past him. He's not going to grab you. It's totally
cool.
Wait. Oh, his glasses are off? No, go the long way.
It's
not safe.
Get to the side.
Go behind. It's so bad because we could literally just play that clip and he's done. We don't need to hire anyone to prosecute him. Eric, we'd like you to defend yourself against Eric, number one. So Eric, number one, says you're a douche. What do you think? Do you think he's right? He sounded very convincing.
And here's the thing is we all know people who wear glasses pretentiously and not for any actual function. Yes. And that's all you need to know about those people. So there, that should have been enough. And what does it say about Democrats in California that despite all the broken and just incredibly corrupt aspects of his character and career, this is the guy that was the front runner for that party's nominee for governor. I mean, that's insane.
But again, I take all of those polls with a pound of salt, even though Steve Hilton is leading right now. And I'm very happy. I'll tell you what, I've never been happier about a jungle primary. And I kind of like the idea of a jungle primary because, for those of you who are not familiar, it basically means whoever has the most votes is in the top two. Doesn't need to be one from one party and one from another. Like, sorry, like if you only have 3% in your shitty party, doesn't mean that you get to be the highest because the other ones had 2 and 1. Like, I kind of like it.
We got to be very clear. You're talking about the democratic process when you say jungle primary. Eric Swalwell calls jungle primary his Saturday night. So that's why we have to just differentiate.
Well, we have Ruben Gallego up next. Now, Ruben Gallego, as we were just saying, is his Bros with Hose buddy. And this, if you're listening, you can't see the sweat coming across his brow.
No, but you can hear it in his voice. No, this is a man. God. This is a man who knows things are about to take a very real turn. And by the way, Lynn, I think it's worth pointing out the best thing about this whole Eric Swalwell thing. Representative Anna Paulina Luna has had a bill to expel, I think, 4 members of Congress.
Yep.
And 2 of them have already resigned. So that's how you know this is a real thing. It was Swalwell and Tony Gonzalez plus 2 members from my home state of Florida, Corey Mills and Representative Cherflewis Johnson, I believe. And so, but there's more coming. And TMZ's opening up an office in Washington, D.C. and saying they're going to pay $100,000 per story of deviance. And
you're going to get some stories.
And the money's about to flow. And so what I'm saying is this could be the most effective reform effort in Congress. And it will involve 0 pieces of legislation. I can't wait. But this guy, Gallegos, certainly appears to be aware that his time may be coming to an end. Yeah.
But I'm going to say one more thing before we go to Gallego, to your point. TMZ is like a day late and a dollar short on this, because if you remember, it was a few years ago, but Jackie Speier, who she was actually from California and she was a Democrat, and she decided to do a deep dive into the slush fund. And I started looking into this last night because I covered it on air. We reported on it. We tried to get the word out, and we literally got shut down at every turn. So I was looking it up last night, and these are the numbers from what Jackie was trying to expose. Congress paid $17 million in sexual misconduct and discrimination settlements over the last 20 years to cover 268 settlements on Capitol Hill. This is according to the Office of Compliance. Now, that was set up in 1995, Clinton, under the Congressional Accountability Act. In 2002 to 2007, those tallies started to get over several $1 million. So my point in saying all of this is a longstanding issue. The idea that taxpayer dollars are being used to keep people quiet, it's no wonder why people that get raped by representatives think they can't speak out.
Well, just think about the numbers you just said, 268 over 20 years. That's double digits a year on average.
Yep.
So, I mean, that's exactly the kind of behavior that's become acceptable in Washington, D.C. and in the halls of Congress, people that were sent there that we pay with our own tax dollars.
Yes.
Luckily, as we talked about with Peter this week on the drill down, they have made some adjustments. And so now members of Congress are actually supposed to reimburse that fund with their own money.
Oh, well, what a unique idea.
What a unique idea, but we still don't have the level of transparency and accountability that we should have, meaning people like Representative Gallegos can still kind of get away with it for the time being.
Well, remember when they gave out those Epstein files, what was the first thing all those representatives did when they looked at the search patterns? Do you remember what it was?
Look for their name.
Look for their name. So creepy. What is wrong with you? Why do you think you're in the Epstein files? What is, like, you need a hobby, bro. What's going on in your free time?
Yeah,
Get a hobby.
I'll take problems that could have been solved with a $15 a month Netflix account for $1,000, you know?
Thank you. Take a shower. Okay, let's play Gallego. I apologize.
You know, I don't know what's going on with his family, but it's definitely a horrible situation for family. They're using that as a cover to attack me right now because they can't do it. They couldn't take back 2024 because they ran a horrible race. But now this is what they want to do. They just want to hurt me as much as they can. Presidents, everything else like that, I don't care. We're going to wait, and that's not even a thing right now. The most important thing is I want to protect my family. I want to protect my family's reputation, and this is why we're talking about right now.
Senator, you've gone on trips, on vacations, officially, unofficially. You've gone out, presumably, with the congressman. You've never even witnessed him, I don't know, engaging in an affair?
No.
Never.
What about?
No.
How do you explain some of the photos that were online? I know you addressed one, but there is another one that shows both of you without shirts. I mean, how do you address some of those compromising photos?
We were on a beach.
Yeah, I mean, I think you were in the desert and on some camels.
It was a beach and a camel, but it's a beach. Yeah.
What were the
It was just very. It was flirty. That was flirty.
And that was when? About what year was it?
I mean, that was through. We've heard that. We've heard that throughout.
Senator, you just said. Thank you so much. I want to clarify because in the beginning,
I know we'll go back there. Yeah.
In the beginning, you said when you first heard these rumors a few weeks ago, that's when you called him. Then you said you've heard these rumors for years. So which one is it, Senator?
So I heard rumors of him being flirty.
And that wasn't an issue enough for you to not trust him to watch your kids or be close with him?
Because, you know, you hear this, and then when you're close to somebody and you know his wife, you see this. You see that relationship. You know that, like, it maybe just isn't true.
Have you asked him about it prior to this few weeks?
I asked him about it a few weeks ago when it started coming up online.
Why wouldn't you ask
Yes,
him about it if you're running his campaign, sir?
That she had no idea about
Just a bit awkward.
He's like, he didn't want to say the hard, uncomfortable truth. He was like, look at me, look at him. Which one of us do you think needs the other to score? Okay, of course, I was happy to be in the orbit and bask in the warmth of a sun reflected from another galaxy. Eric was my guy. I was happy to just kind of hang out and see what was left over at the end of the night. And that was our relationship. He was flirty and, you know, I just was the beneficiary.
I love that they ask, first of all, what is wrong with these people? They're on vacation so much. I mean, you and I have talked about this so many times, but they work like 130 days out of the year. The rest of us are working a gajillion hours a day, 365 days a year. And they have the time to be together in the desert, on a camel. What is going on? I'm pretty sure California needs some help. I'm pretty sure that things are in dire straits. Why is Swalwell hanging out with Gallego on camels?
Well, to your point, these are the problems that arise when you have too much free time and lots of money. And let's explain the Washington, D.C. culture in a couple of key phrases.
They don't even have the money, though.
Yeah,
they're using campaign funds. They're using taxpayer dollars. They have
access to money. Absolutely. And I would say that, you know, this is what's wrong. And honestly, it's funny, you know, he represents California, and you and I have spoken about California fraud's obviously a huge issue right now, as it should be. And we could talk more about that. But I think the reality is that just like this culture of fraud that's been allowed to exist in California, and everyone just kind of looks the other way because they're so anesthetized to it. Like, this is just how you do business. This is just how things go. This is just an uncomfortable, unfortunate, and very, for lack of a better term, gross reality check about what Washington, D.C. looks like. It's swimming with money. These are people that come there from somewhere else. They've always said politics is like Hollywood for ugly people. And this is just, I mean, you just saw the last clip. So I'm just saying, this is just what they do, and this is how they've done it. And I think it's good that people can have a, wait a minute, really? And so I do think that just like what's happening in California, hopefully the corruption and just the immoral behavior in Washington, D.C. Stops when it becomes exposed to the level it appears it's now being elevated.
But here's the thing, right? So we talk about all of this. It's clear as day. we know Gallego's guilty. We don't need to go through. It's not hard. I'm like, all right, come on. Everybody knows. And people have gone to the lengths of God bless AI, right? This is when it's funny and not scary. I don't know if you've seen this. So all over X today, people are asking Grok to analyze the sideburns of the man in the picture, in the video, with Swalwell from behind, because you can't see his face. And the sideburns match Gallego's sideburns. So they're doing this side by side.
In that video with the prostitute?
With the prostitute.
Oh, no.
Then, and something I would have never noticed, I was like, oh my God, it's the same sneakers that Gallego wears in all his pictures. The guy is wearing in that video. So I'm like, all right, well, I don't know. There's that moment. What is it like? If it looks like, if it smells like, it probably is. And I'm just like, I want to give you the benefit of the doubt, bro, even though I don't like you, but it's like, it's hard. And you look really nervous.
The term normally is duck, but in this video, it's something maybe else. So,
yeah, I was going to use duck, and then it rhymed with the other word they were trying to do, and it got weird. And
it's a family show. Let's just keep it moving.
See, I self-censored. You're welcome, America.
The growth moments.
Yeah, listen, they happen few and far between. Let's praise them when they do. So Carrie Lake obviously ran against Gallego, and Carrie Lake, she is just like a ball buster. She's not taking any shit, which I kind of love. And she was telling everybody, Ruben Gallego is an asshole. His father is part of the Juarez cartels. I am telling you now that this is not a good fit for our state. Please stop. So, of course, we have our questions about what goes on in election rigging and so on and so forth. And that's another show entirely. But Ruben Gallego is now the senator. Am I missing something?
No, I think you nailed it. And that is,
I see. If you're watching the show, Eric's giving me the eyebrow face. I'm like, uh-oh.
No, I think that's those are real things. And yeah, I mean, that's the thing is like, don't say we weren't warned about it. And so you're absolutely right. And to Carrie Lake's credit, she was sounding the alarm some time ago.
Yes. So we'll play that real quick for you guys. Take a listen.
Because the people have got to know before they vote who this guy is. Mm-hmm. His ads leave out a whole lot of despicable treatment of women. His ads don't tell you that about the time that he harassed and threatened a 20-year-old female intern, and when she complained about it, she was fired. His ads don't tell you about the fact that his fellow Democrats down at the state legislature gave him the nickname the Troll because of how creepy and degrading he was with women. And his ads don't tell you about the time he told a Latina woman that because she was a Republican, she wasn't a real Latina. Can I hear it for our incredible conservative Latina women? We got a house full, including my daughter right down there. His ads don't tell you, frankly, about the most unforgivable act against a woman. When he walked out on his pregnant wife, when she was 9 months pregnant, days before she delivered their firstborn child, he served her papers and he ran off to sleep with a DC lobbyist. That's despicable. I can promise you, if Ruben Gallego will abandon his family to jump in bed with a lobbyist, he will abandon Arizona in favor of DC lobbyists every single vote. Mm-hmm.
So I think Carrie Lake kind of put that to bed, nice and sweet for Mr. Gallego. And I think a lot of people, I know I'm one of them, when I watched that clip, I was like, God, I forgot all about the fact that he walked out on his wife. And I remember covering it. But it's like, there's so much shit every day, and people are so terrible every day that you can't even remember all the things. And I was like, oh.
No, so that's bad. And number one, that's important context for like, go back to the Gallegos video. He's like, no, I'm just trying to protect my family.
Yeah, shut up, bro.
So there's that. And then the second off is like, so now like what's more indicting? The fact that Gallegos is best friends with Swalwell, who is accused of now of all these things, including criminal acts, or the fact that Swalwell is best friends with Gallegos, who you just laid out the indictment from Kay Lake. No, these guys deserve each other. And these are, these people find each other in Washington, D.C. That's why you have, people, I know we're going to do a thing from Tim Burchett in a little bit, but you can tell the guys that are different. You can tell the guys that are just about the right things and not about embracing the culture of Washington, D.C. And unfortunately, you can tell the people who are not that different.
Look at the guy that was just elected in, was it the special election in Georgia, right? Just happened yesterday. First vote he put up for passage was a SAVE Act.
Right.
He was like, I'm in it. I'm like, oh my God, I love you. I don't even know who you are, but I'm thrilled that somebody's actually holding the line. You've been here one day. I mean, God bless him.
Hey, and
how he is in 10 days.
No, but that's why, right? I mean, that's why he can be like that. And you know, lots of people who've been elected, and you've seen them kind of progress over their careers. And I've seen those people, they come in a certain way, and then they introduce you to the lobbyists. They say it's like speed dating, and you kind of just get told, and it's like, hey, congratulations, you made it. If you'd like to stay, we can make it really easy for you. And one of Peter Schweizer's favorite phrases is, eventually the cesspool becomes a hot tub. And I would just say that Gallegos looks like one of those guys who's the king of the cesspool. So.
All right, so let's look at, so we play Gallego, we've got Swalwell, we've done all of those fun things, and now we have my topic, my favorite topic. Eric loves when I talk about this, the missing scientists, the guys who know where the aliens are, extraterrestrial life that they say they don't want us to know about. And so now we're up to 10 scientists missing. What is going on?
This is the worst way to reference or quote DJ Khaled. And another one. It was 9 last week. It's 10 this week. And no, it's a very real concern. At some point, they're approaching the body count of the other types of illegal aliens in this country. Bro, it's bad.
Bro, I'm telling you right now, I have 2 thoughts on this, all right? One is normal, one is not. So prep. So normal one is they're getting whacked because they know too much. The second one is the aliens are like, we need him on our planet. We're taking him. He's good.
Okay. So let me ask a couple of follow-ups, and I can't believe I'm doing this, but like whacked by whom? The actual aliens?
No, I think they're whacked by our government because I believe, and we actually have a Soros clip today that I think ties into this really nicely too. Another person I despise and I hope he dies real soon. But this is one of those things like there is a world order at play, right? There's all of us that are normal. And then there's the WEF. There's the global agenda. There's Project 2030. We have to get this many people killed off. We have to get this many people reassigned. We have to get this many people to shut up because they're talking too loud, too much, and too often, right? Okay.
Yeah.
It starts to feel a little weird. So I'm wondering, all right, did they get a sign like, hey, you got to take out the scientists? And I have the other graphic. I have another graphic. If you're going to watch the video, guys, please watch it because it shows you all the tie-ins. It's a lovely graphic. I'm big on that. And it says, this guy knows this guy got murdered, this guy is missing, this guy was an administrator, this guy was, nuclear physicist. I mean, they're not like, and everything's where it was. Their wallet, their keys, their phone. Like, they're just gone. They're completely, it's weird, right?
It's abnormal. But again, I want to reiterate my position from last week. I don't think there's anything to see here, Lynda. I think this is completely overblown. I completely trust the government. I think that they are, like I know my family we see nothing wrong here.
Yeah.
And
people go missing every day. Just is what it is.
But I do think it's, it's kind of interesting. And you pointed this out, like you are one of the only people I know that's talking about this. Will Kane has covered this as well. And so that I think just adds another layer of like mystery and or like intrigue and actually concern, right? Like why are not more people? And to your point, it's kind of like for a long time, the Epstein stuff didn't get covered. So when something is not covered, just like the Eric Swalwell stuff, right, for a long enough period of time, it makes you wonder what larger story, what larger forces are being protected by the relative lack of curiosity of the media who should otherwise, I mean, if we're willing to put the entire National Press Corps in Arizona for the mother of a Today Show host.
Yes.
Then why are we not kind of making a bigger deal about this and the silence seems to be screaming louder than the reporting.
Yes, the TMZ folks need to get on the alien wagon. All right, like we'll get the scumbags. They can't keep their dick in their pants. We'll put that box over here. That's good. And now we need another box for you to submit your stuff to. This is called the alien box. So you know anything, got any shit on the alien stuff, we'd like you to submit. TMZ, yeah. I fully support this idea. Please help me help you. That's what I'm here for. All right. So this is Will Kane and Congressman Tim Burchett, who I love from Tennessee, another no bullshit guy. And his take is funny, man.
8 missing or dead scientists, many of them, I think most of them, with just in the last couple of months. Some of these stories do go back about 2 years, but they work at a handful of highly classified, high-access areas like NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratories or Los Alamos in New Mexico. They have access to highly sensitive information.
They do. They do. Again, I think it's sending a message, and I think the message is pretty clear. I've talked to some people, and this has had a real chilling effect. People don't want to talk about this issue of unidentified flying objects anymore, and it's kind of difficult to get to people because they are afraid, and probably rightfully so. So, I don't know. Everybody says Burchett, they get on about little green men and flying saucers. I just want to know what we're spending tens of millions of your hard-earned tax dollars. And when a bureaucrat tells me the president is on a need-to-know basis, we got to get some answers.
I mean, well said. The president is on a need-to-know basis. And back to that chart I was telling you about. So when that interview was done with Tim Burchett, we were up to 8. We're now up to 10. So the most recent one is this gentleman, Stephen Garcia, who was a government contractor. He was out of the Kansas City National Security Campus, and he built the parts of the nuclear weapons. So they're either killing him because he knows too much about Iran, or somebody was in deep state. I just don't know.
Well, and you kind of wonder, is it not there was this push to release lots of files about UFOs, and since these guys started being disappeared, you actually haven't heard much about that.
No one's talking about it, and they're afraid. And I'm like, Lou Elizondo is somebody who is very outspoken. He's testified before Congress many times, a great guy. And he is like, I'm telling you right now, our government is deep in shit on this. And there is stuff we need to know. And I'm like, all right, but like, are they going to come like in the middle of the night, or are they like friendly? Like, yo, we've been here for years. It's good. Everything's fine. Like, we walk among you. I don't know which is better, honestly. They both make me worried,
Is there any part of you that doesn't want to know, that thinks, okay, actually, given what we're seeing, like, would it so fundamentally change the way you view things that are too important to be true that you're like, you know what? I'm okay with it. Let's just keep it moving. I
mean, I kind of want to know just because sometimes people do shit and I'm like, man, that's out of this world. And for once, that would be true. It'd be like, yeah, it is. Like, you're messed up because you're an alien, and that's okay. I can forgive you. Because then when people do really weird shit, I'm like, why the fuck would he do that? It's so weird.
Okay, Lynda, here's what we're gonna do. This would be a good tease for next week's Soundbytes. Let's do this next week, because we have to officially have like an alien update. And next week, I think we should do top 3 people they could tell you was an alien and it wouldn't shock you.
I'm in. Best segment. All right, last clip of today's show is none other than Scumbag Soros. This is a clip of him during
By the way, might be in my top 3, but keep it moving.
Yes, with you wholeheartedly on that, bro. This guy is like Tales from the Crypt. He just won't die. I'm like, how old are you? You look gross. He's so gross looking, guys. I guess that's what evil does to you. But he's in this interview and he's talking about how we need a global reset and China needs to be a part of it. Now, this is during the Obama administration. It's his first term. Very, very creepy stuff. But just take a listen.
What sort of a financial deal should Obama be seeking to strike when he travels to China next month?
No, I think this would be the time, because you really need to bring China into the creation of a new world order, financial world order. So I think you need a new world order that China has to be part of the process of creating it, and they have to buy in, they have to own it. And I think this would be a more stable one, where you would have a coordinated policies.
Given this continued weakness in the U.S. economy, are people right to start to be concerned about the dollar?
An orderly decline of the dollar is actually desirable. A decline in the value of the dollar is necessary in order to compensate for the fact that the U.S. economy will remain rather weak. China will emerge as the motor replacing the U.S. consumer. So there would be a slow decline in the value of the dollar, a managed decline.
So this guy is literally saying the decline of the dollar would be desirable. We'd like that to happen. Then the dollar would be replaced by currency from China. That's the new world order. That's where we want it to be. And this broad is sitting there smiling at him. Yes, that sounds great. I'm like, is this bad B-roll? Please tell me you did not smile at that.
It does seem like something from a movie, like a Bond villain movie, but it actually explains, by the way, the operational philosophy of the Obama administration.
Yes.
I mean, it's the whole like we're part of citizens of the world, and you know, the American exceptionalism is something that they clearly did not embrace, did not celebrate, and so America had 8 years of being told we should be embarrassed, we should be ashamed, we weren't allowed to be proud of the country until we did this election of Barack Obama. It also, by the way, explains what Donald Trump offered that so many people gravitated towards. It was the opposite of that.
Yeah.
If George Soros is about the managed decline of the American, the power of America, whether it's their currency, whether it's their culture, whether it's the ideals, then Donald Trump says, no, we're going to celebrate that. And we're going to celebrate it so unabashedly. It doesn't matter what names you call us. It doesn't matter what things you say about us. It doesn't even matter what allegations you bring up in October for an election. We're not going to be wavering from making this point. And the American people ultimately chose that because they chose America first. And that's why Donald Trump continues to kind of be this dominant political and cultural force he is today.
And that's the thing too. Well said on your part. You know, it's this idea of 8 years of being under the subversion of Obama. That's what it really felt like. I felt like every day under Obama, I was sad I was white. I was sad I was a capitalist. I was sad I was a conservative, a Christian, a Catholic. Like, you name it, I was sad, right? And then one day I woke up, I was like, screw this shit. This guy's an asshole.
Well, and think about what George Soros said. China needs to buy into this new world order. What happened in January of 2013, or somewhere around there? Joe Biden travels to China on Air Force Two. Hunter Biden goes with him. Joe Biden strikes a deal with the future president of China. Hunter Biden strikes a deal with the Chinese Communist Party for this joint business venture up to $1.5 billion investment fund. It's so gross. Even John Kerry steps in and is like, guys, we can't do this.
Yeah, we've gone too far.
Yeah, this is too much. But, you know, his other degen buddy is like, I'm in, you know? So, and it just explains like so much of what happened under Obama and Joe Biden and with Hunter and the Chinese philosophy of elite capture. That's how they try to kind of co-opt what America was up to try to engineer this managed decline of the U.S. to usher in this new world order. I mean, that's a real thing. That's not a conspiracy if the receipts are there.
And all of that money and all of those people it's all the same players, whether it's Soros, whether it's stolen elections, whether it's Russia collusion, whether it's impeachment trials, whether it's pipe bombs on January 6th that nobody can find, even though we have the videos, the makeup, the walk. I'm like, all right, guys, I think we got some demographics we can work with. I mean, just, asking for a friend. These are the moments where you say, okay, guys, like enough. And now we're in a spot with Trump. The SAVE Act to me is the perfect example. Senate, go ahead. What are you going to say? Tell me.
Well, I was going to say, I think we have to be very careful because, and this is, we do a much larger thing, but the other part of elite culture that China got besides the Biden administration was Silicon Valley. The Silicon Valley and Peter Schweizer's done a lot of stuff. Yep. They love the Chinese,
they love the startup,
philosophy,
the hedge funds, venture funds.
All of it, right? And so I do think that's why, how much do people really buy the fact that Silicon Valley is now pivoted towards Donald Trump? AI is maybe this Trojan horse in some way. Like Trump embraces it, but just be very, very careful and continue to watch like where people's allegiances truly are. Is this like a fundamental ideological shift for the people that are with Trump now, or would they go back to being, kind of China adjacent if a different political party comes in? It's also why I think you have to watch people like Gavin Newsom and these left politicians who clearly have very strong China ties as well.
I'll close with this one thought. A nice flex with the China adjacent. I like it. It was nice. It was good. You worked it in. You sound real smart. It's cool. I like it. Yesterday or the day before, the president had the DoorDash grandma at the White House and talking about how her husband is very sick and he has cancer and she's making this extra money, right? Awkward moment where he started talking about the trans thing. She's like, I'm not here for that. That was really weird, but we'll leave that there. Maybe grandma was like, I'm out. I'm not about this. I'm just here for like my pick, my op, and I'm out.
But like, sir, this isn't a Wendy's, but it is a McDonald's.
Yeah.
So
she's like, I'm sorry. Thanks for we're in, but not that in. Okay, cool. So, but I thought about it this morning. They had a report out that Grubhub and DoorDash are super excited because now they're using AI and robots and drones to deliver all your food. And that delivery cost to the consumer is going to go from $7 to $1. So you had DoorDash grandma at the White House 2 days ago talking about how she's putting her husband with cancer through their medical bills and helping him. And 2 days later, the advent of AI is going to take that grandma's job away. Her husband's going to die of cancer because you can't pay $6 more to have the food brought to your house.
Lynda, why can't we have anything nice? Why do you have to do this to people?
I'm telling you, man. It's deep
so
shit.
bad.
Why you want to hurt grandma? Anyways, guys, you are listening to the Rogue Recap. We are here with Eric Eggers. This is our Soundbytes show. We're going to be here once a week. We're excited to be with you. Eric, any final words?
No, I'm just going to go home and cry in my sleep about robots and grandmothers. I will say this, nothing makes me feel less like a man than when I'm at this one Indian restaurant I like to go to and a robot brings me my food, but like it's always followed by a person. So I don't really understand the utility of it. So that's kind of like, there's a different world where that happens, but it hasn't come to me yet.
I don't want my curry with a robot. I just want it with a regular person. Please just bring it on. It's already messy. Like, can we not? Right. I just feel like that gets dangerous. But anyways, check us out. RogueRecap.com, at Rogue Recap, at Lynda Mc, and Eric, your handle is?
At Eric_Eggers. Lynda, you're the best. Thanks guys for listening. This was fun.
Bye.